Welcome to another episode of Extreme Metal Television. I'm your host, Simon. In this episode, we have a chat with Phantom Limb, Barnburner, and GWAR. But first, let's kick it off to a band profile.
Blackest Sin was formed in 2009 in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. The band is currently working on their debut album.
I started up Blackest Sin about 2009 with a buddy of mine who's now living down in Vancouver. And I started on the drums originally, just couldn't find a drummer. And went from there. He moved away. I found Michelle. Me and him started jamming guitar riffs. Found Nick a few months after that, and Tim came after that. And I met these two guys at the same company. We worked doing chain link fencing. So
yeah, fencing tends to build extremely angry people.
Yeah,
perfect for the metal scene.
It sucks, yeah. Especially when you got to deal with barbed wire. That really fires us up.
Yeah, there's nothing more metal than barbed wire.
And what kind of influences do you guys draw on when you guys are writing your songs?
Personally, I love thrash. I love just thrash. Fucking A.
All of us kind of listen to different types of metal, so when we sat down to write some songs, they just kind of took shape out of everything that we listened to.
It's a really cool shit mix. Like on our upcoming debut album, every single song to us sounds pretty much different. Nothing's really a copy of the next song or anything like that. So yeah, it's just whatever we like, we play.
Yeah, good music's good music.
And you guys, you just mentioned that you're recording. Tell us a little bit about that.
We've recorded, actually. We're just waiting to do our producer's computer crashed. Alan Holloway-Chuck, by the way. Great guy.
Face Value Productions.
Yeah, Face Value Productions. Check it out. He recorded us starting last May, and so it's already been over a year, but his computer died for about 2 months, so we kind of were on a little bit of a hiatus. So now we're just getting it mixed and mastered and produced and produced and done. Almost there.
Montreal's Barnburner are currently on the road with Gallows, and believe me folks, this is a show not to be missed. Barnburner put on one hell of a live performance. In fact, they're my favorite live band. We caught up with Kevin and Carmen, and I wanted to know what made them want to be musicians in the first place.
I don't know, I think there's just kind of a natural inclination to it, like just depending on who you are, and you know, I think people like us just gravitated towards it. Sort of just like, you know, when you're young, you kind of know at an early age, like I wanted to play drums when I was like 9 years old or even before that, so it was just like I started playing drums, and then I started, you know, picked up the guitar. I just wanted to play everything. It was just, you know, just like natural inclination to it.
Yeah. I mean, like I played sports as a kid, and I like would, you know, I'd go and play hockey, and I'd watch hockey games, and I'd be like, okay, that's fun, and you know, like I'd go and pick up a record, and I'd look at like photos of like, you know, like fucking Alice Cooper on stage or whatever, and it's like there's nobody that looks cooler than that, right? So it's like that's always what I gravitated towards. Yeah,
so was there anyone, like he said Alice Cooper, was there anyone in particular that made you want to do it?
Yeah, just like AC/DC and like early Metallica, bands like that were the kind of, for me, like the first sort of like kick in the nuts. Like this is pretty badass. And sometimes you kind of wish that you weren't as passionate about it as you are, because it's like, wow, there's really not much of a future here, but I cannot not do this.
Yeah. So. At the end of the day, I mean, like we all have like, you know, we all have real jobs, and we all work really hard all year round and save all of our money just to afford to do this. So like employers and family members and friends look at it and go like, oh, they went on vacation. And it's like, it really isn't much vacation,
No,
right? Like we get 20 to 30 minutes a night to do what we love.
And the rest we're eating cans of fucking
dog food,
cold soup in the van, you know.
True.
Like,
What makes a great music video? Bikini-clad women, beer, and the misuse of condiments. Barnburner's Scum of the Earth video has all of the above. We asked the guys what the shooting experience was like.
Basically just kind of here's a case of beer, guys. Do some crazy shit. Get up to no good, and we'll film you doing it. Let's go to the beach. Let's like drive around in the van. Let's play a show. So it's just like, you know, fun atmosphere. Just kind of trying to capture that.
Yeah. We were about as surprised as the viewers were when we did it. Like we had no, like we weren't warned of anything when we got there. It was literally just cool. Like Angela, the director, was like, I've got all these ideas. We're just gonna go, do it. Yeah. And I mean, 2 days of doing some pretty crazy shit in New York City was what came out of it.
I guess, can you explain to me what scrap metals is?
That was like, yeah, it was just a term that we came up with to describe, like, because when we're writing songs, it's always kind of like, you know, I find it's like we're borrowing from this and that, and it's never one thing. Like I love death metal, I love like brutal metal, but I also love like old metal and classic rock, and like, you know, I love like a lot of punk rock as well. So, and we all do kind of like share these sort of like little kernels of heavy music and aggressive music. So kind of like, so it's like, well, what the, you know, everybody's like, oh, you guys are a stoner metal band. Oh no, you're like a, you know, you're a stoner thrash band, or you're just a thrash band, or you're a classic rock band. It's like, well, you know, we're a little bit of all those things. So it's kind of like we were just like joking around one day. It was like, scrap metal, you know. And we have a funny thing where we were obsessed with scrap yards. Whenever we see them, we were like, scrap daddy.
Taylor, the drummer, has a habit, or used to have a habit of like scrapping shit the day before going on tour, like scrapping a car or like a fucking washing machine or some shit. So.
Is this for good luck or?
No, just because
to make a couple extra bucks.
Just to be inconvenient. At the day we're leaving on a tour, he decides to scrap a van. It's like, dude, we need to leave in 15 minutes, and you're gonna go scrap a van? Like, really?
He's a fantastic drummer, though.
Yeah.
Fucking, I wouldn't trade him for the world.
The Scumdogs from Another Planet GWAR recently rolled through Calgary, and we had a chance to speak to Oderus Urungus right before he went on to play an excellent show in front of a screaming, drunken audience. We asked Oderus when we can expect to hear some new music from GWAR.
Sorry, I thought you guys were going to be downstairs. I thought I'd gotten away with this tonight. Maybe not having to do another one of these stupid fucking interviews. Hello there!
Hello, how are you?
You are an attractive woman.
I am.
For a bearded woman, I would give you a 9.3.
That's it? Really?
Well, it depends later when we indulge in the oral sex. I'm gonna fuck your face off. All right, let's get on with this. They're already fucking yelling for me out there.
All right. When can we expect some new music from GWAR?
We've been working on new stuff the whole last year. It will be happening soon. We were going to have a new album out halfway through next year. God damn it, if it's the last thing I fucking do.
What can we expect from GWAR tonight?
Well, you know, there's no new album. There's just what's going on tonight. And it's probably the most fucking insane, fucked up GWAR show that we've done in many fucking years. And so I'm not going to blow it for you guys, but you can look forward to really having your fucking mind blown. It is the most fucked up, disgusting GWAR show that we've ever done.
Bloody Pit of Horror was the last GWAR album featuring Corey Smoot on guitar, who tragically passed away late last year. GWAR has enlisted a new guitar player, and we asked Oderus Urungus how that came about.
Well, he found us. He pretty much just showed up on Earth in his scum ship, walked through the wall, started laying tracks. All the other Maximuses took the fuck off. I went out back, vandalized his spaceship, ensuring that he would be stuck on this planet, and the rest is history. He's not particularly happy to be here, but he's doing a fucking great job. Pustulus Maximus.
As long as they get blood. Vampires, they speak a sock, you know, because they're gay. Biker werewolves, what a joke. They've sure seen better days.
If you had one piece of advice for an independent musician, what would it be?
Make sure the people in your band are like people you want to hang out with. You know, a lot of bands, like, they get together and they hate each other and they keep it together for years and then just finally implode. Make sure you fucking got people in the band you actually enjoy playing music with, and that's like absolutely key to making your band fucking great. Also, study hard and you will do well, and also never negotiate from a position of weakness.
Welcome once again to the Blackest Sin, my friends. We're so glad you could attend. Come and die.
All right, I've got one final question. You guys have 12 full-length releases out. What drives you to keep on creating new music?
Well, I mean, basically at this point, this is all we can do. You know, it's like once you've, you know, driven this tractor, you just can't get a job at McDonald's. You know, it's like pretty much this is what we do. This is our niche in society, and we're gonna continue to fulfill and exploit this bloody fucking hole until the two ends split apart, much like a whale vagina that I'm trying to fuck with my entire body.
Excellent, thank you.
Fucking awesome. Thanks, guys.
Your penis is going on there. You got another video, right?
Get this thing off my fucking cock.
That was amazing.
Explain to me what happened there. Well,
Oderus Urungus.
Well, we just did an interview with Oderus Urungus, and well, as you can see, we had to ask him a few questions, and then his cock got caught on our microphone cord and drug us away.
Calgary progressive metalers Phantom Limb are currently finishing up work on their second album. We asked the band what we could expect from this new release.
It's an EP. It's going to be a 4-song EP concept album called Mantra. We're about halfway through the recording. Drums are done. Guitars are about halfway. Yeah, it's definitely sounding really good so far. We're taking our time with it a lot more than the last album, so we're really going to make sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, so to speak, and it's going to be good. We're hoping.
Yeah, it's a 40-minute EP. It's a 40-minute EP, so really it's an album. But you know, as far as we're concerned, I mean, it's 4 songs, so.
I think the days of the long play album are not a necessity as much anymore. I think if you're releasing, say, shorter albums and a higher frequency, it seems to be more beneficial to keep yourself in the public eye and the fans' eye, so to speak.
How frequently do you think? Should a band have something out every year?
I think so. I think that's. I think if you want to actually stay relevant, it's quite important to make sure you've always got something that's new and fresh.
Yeah.
It used to be a trend at one point. It was like albums and discs were getting, in this case, albums like in the 80s and 70s and now were getting cut very frequently. Like, if you weren't doing it like once a year, there people are like, well, I guess these guys aren't really doing their jobs or something.
Yeah.
But now it kind of went to, okay, then it became one every few years, and it became one every 3-4 years, and then now it's like you're getting albums coming up from bands from like 20 years ago are releasing albums. Probably a different story in that case, but yeah, definitely go to the more frequent releases, more online content, stuff along those lines.
Well, the other thing is too, I mean, from a pure, if you're looking at it from a pure business aspect, it's so much easier to get a song done. So you can literally release a song at a time as they become finished. I mean, you're no longer held to that old distribution model of manufacturing a physical compact disc or a record or whatever and having all the packaging put together. You know, instead of a 4-stage production process, it's like, all right, song's done on the internet, who wants to buy it for 99 cents?
I can't wait to hear some new music from Phantom Limb. Now, guitarist Joel Sikorsky also engineered the album, and he talked about recording the drums more naturally, not using sample replacements. Now, sample replacements has become the norm, especially in extreme metal, so we asked Joe why he decided to go this way.
Also, yeah, going with more of a natural sound, I mean, it definitely gives it a lot more natural feel, like you were saying. But at the same time, for me, it's just the too many albums these days oversaturate themselves with making it mechanically perfect with quantizing drums, drum sample replacements. Whole albums are just programmed to the point of it's just a machine gun of a drum machine, basically. Somebody just sitting there going on a pad or something like that, literally.
Yeah.
So I mean, to try to get it as organic as possible, and even if you're going to program drums, just as a point of order in a manner of speaking, don't make it sound so mechanical that takes away from you having a drummer. Otherwise, go get a drum machine. They argue less, and you can program. They don't make as many mistakes.
Share of the gig pay, you know.
Larger cut for you.
Margins are up.
So how do you find engineering, recording an album, and also performing on it?
It gives you the inherent advantage of you've got an idea how you want something to sound, and you can go with it. Instead of going, well, okay, I'm going to record this, and you're going, kind of neat if we change this back to this, and then you go and look back later in the process, and you're like, man, I wish we could have done that back then. It's like, nah, you can play around with that right off the beginning. It's like, you're going for a specific sound or certain element, you just start working towards that right off the bat.
It's easier to do it yourself than to convince someone else to do what you think they should do.
Yeah, so you're just thinking about some other instances like where I've recorded something afterwards and gone back and gone, man, I wish I had done that a little differently. I mean, now it's like right off the bat, trying to explain it to somebody else, that's not quite what I had in mind. I mean, you're just sitting there for potentially hours, or that particular engineer gets the wrong idea. That's why one thing I was going to say is if you're going to work with a recording engineer of some sort, make sure they know the genre that you're working with. How many times have you tried to go to an engineer who's a country music engineer who's got a really nice studio in his basement? You go there and you're coming in and you're coming out and it's just guitars sound like
the tones
like, wow,
just aren't there.
That wasn't the tone I was quite gunning for. But he's like, yeah, it's a rockin' album. It's like you got to work with people who understand what you want, and the best people who understand what you want are you. I mean, so doing it yourself has got the inherent advantage of being able to answer that.
Well, that's it for another episode of Extreme Metal Television. I'd like to thank you all for joining us once again. I'd like to thank my co-host King and Dr. Gore. If you'd like to get a hold of us, please feel free to send us an email at extrememetaltv@gmail.com. Check out the Facebook page. But before we let you go, here's a terrible tale from the road from Manila Road.
We can go way back to doing a show in Wichita at a place called the Silver Bullet.
Yeah.
And this was with Rick and Scott playing with me. We had just finished the show. I was just stepping off the stage, and the wall comes falling down behind us on the stage. Bricks and concrete everywhere, drums flying everywhere. And we're all turning around looking, and all of a sudden we'll notice that the front of our tour van is sticking inside in the stage. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know, and Rick
it's climbing through brick wall.
It's Rick's van, and he like climbs through the hole and everything and jumps out, and he sees that there's this drunk driver that had slammed into the back of the van
and ran
it through the building. And so Rick grabs him and starts to pull. He's knocked out he's unconscious.
And he's trying to beat
grabbing him.
him.
He's trying to fucking hug his face and everything. I'm like grabbing Rick going, no, he's already dead.